It's mid-February here in the Midwest. It's been snowing a lot, it's been raining a lot, and the flu has been going around, and my family got the flu or something flu-like. We didn't go to the doctor and get tested, but our friends who had the same symptoms and kind of felt ill at the same time, they did get tested and it was the flu. So I'm assuming that that's what we had. While I was sick, I just didn't have any energy to cook or clean or do much. I felt pretty good about just getting the dishwasher started each night and switching the laundry as I was able. It was kind of good timing and bad timing in that my husband had taken the boys on a winter backpacking trip. So he basically got home, they brought all the stuff in from the car, and then several of the boys started showing some pretty acute symptoms. So not only did we have just sickness, detritus everywhere, we had emesis bags and piles of Kleenex and empty Gatorade bottles and blankets and pillows and dirty socks and popsicle wrappers and empty bowls. We had all of that, but we also had a lot of camping stuff out. And as I was languishing on the couch looking around, I was just wishing that I could get things back in order. It just helps me feel kind of a little more calm and feel like, we can do things. We've got things together. So once we started to feel a little bit better, I got the boys and we decided to set a timer for each room. This is a strategy we use pretty often. I'll set a 3-minute timer and we'll all work on one room together. As you can see, this is the side of our house. I had to go out and capture some of the snowfall. I think it's so pretty. I didn't ever really get around to clearing out that side flower bed, but it looks nice covered in the snow. So we normally just set a timer for 3 or 5 minutes. If it's a bigger room or a really messy room, sometimes we'll divide the room into 2 portions and we'll do 5 minutes for each side. This room that you're looking at right now, that's our living room. That's probably the biggest room in our house, and it was probably the messiest because that's where most of us were hanging out for several days as we just kind of tried to keep things down and, stay alive. So some people ended up sleeping down on that couch. We just accumulated a lot of stuff. There's some camping stuff that we're going to take down to the basement. It's not all the way put away, but it's kind of tucked in a corner down in the basement, and that can be dealt with soon. But it's amazing how when we all pull together and we focus on one room at a time, we really can get the bulk of the clutter cleaned up in just a couple minutes. Whenever we deal with illness, our priorities change. It's really just about treating symptoms, keeping people hydrated. I don't feel bad about us not eating well-rounded meals. I'm just hoping that everyone can kind of get through the night, get through the day, and not suffer too much, really. So we lived a lot on crackers and juice. My mom dropped by some baked goods, and a friend dropped by some really delicious chicken and vegetable soup, and I've lived on that for several days. It tasted so great to me. I was so grateful. So if you have wonderful, kind friends like me and family who offer to drop things over, I recommend taking them up on them, and then maybe later you can repay the favor if they get sick, which we all do at some point. So here's our basement. The cushions are missing from the couch. That was one of the clues that I got that the boys were feeling better, is that they had built a fort. So I thought, okay, well, now it's probably not too mean of me to enlist them in some cleaning. So we're doing a little dusting, why not? And a little mopping. This is a newer mop, and we really do like it. It's pretty seamless. The spray handle is right there, easy to use. And then you just peel off that microfiber pad. So while we were sick, I had a whole bunch of bananas, and they were all about to go bad. So I thought I would whip up some banana bread. So I'm using a recipe by Mary Berry. I don't know if you've ever seen the show The Great British Bake Off, but she was from the original seasons. And her recipe, I just found it online. I think it calls for just one banana. And I had 4 bananas, so I just used the scale up feature. Um, and and then I made it in a bundt cake pan because I originally thought I would make muffins, but I didn't want to deal with doing multiple batches. The nice thing about the bundt cake is you can bake kind of a large volume all at once. You don't have to keep scooping more and switching out linings or greasing the little individual cups. So this is one of our favorite recipes, and I don't completely follow her instructions. She has some sort of order of how you put things in. I find that as long as my butter is room temperature, I can dump everything right into one bowl, minus the chocolate chips, mix it up in the stand mixer, then I add the chocolate chips and stir it with a spatula, and then that's it. All I have to do is grease my cake pan and then scoop the batter in, level it a little bit, and then stick it in the oven, and it really is quite foolproof. I'm always kind of trying to see what I can get away with recipes. Like, do I really have to use all these different bowls? Do I really have to cream the butter and the sugar first and then add the eggs one at a time, scraping down in between each addition? Or can I just chuck everything in, mix it up, and call it good? And so this is one of those recipes that you can. I've started using this app called Paprika as a place to store all my recipes. I had a recipe binder, I've had a recipe box, and for some reason I just keep using my phone to find recipes. There are a few cookbooks that I have that I still refer to and I use those recipes, but I'm finding that I was having like 100 tabs open of all these various recipes. So a friend of mine, she recommended this app called Paprika, and I think I do have to pay like $3 a year for it or something like that. But it's really nice because there's a browser on the app. It's like a Chrome browser, and you just click download once you find a recipe. So I could search like Mary Berry banana bread, and then I would find it, I'd click download, and then I would add it to my like quote unquote online recipe box, which I just access by tapping the app icon Paprika, and it just makes everything easy to find. It's all in one place. I no longer have 100 tabs open, which is nice. The addition of chocolate chips always makes any kind of thing more appealing to my family. So this particular recipe calls to be baked in a 320-degree oven, which is a little bit lower than what I would think, but I think it took about an hour and 15 minutes to bake that. So there was my son scrubbing toilets, who were kind of breaking up tasks. And as we started cleaning, I kind of got into a roll, and I realized that my bedside table was just kind of full of books and magazines that I had already read. And so I thought, I'm going to make 2 piles. I'm going to make a giveaway pile, and then I'm going to make a keep pile. And for the keep pile, I just found better homes for the books throughout our house. We have bookcases. It doesn't all need to be here on my bedside table. We are expecting a baby in a couple months, and so I was kind of thinking that this bedside table, maybe I could find some like woven baskets to set into these 2 shelves here. And maybe I could put receiving blankets and burp cloths in here, or I might even be able to move my like socks and things over to the baskets and have those over here, and then use the dresser, which we also use as a changing table for the baby's clothes. So that way it's all, within a hand's reach or arm's reach as I'm, changing diapers and stuff like that. So I'm currently on the hunt for woven baskets that will fill these spots. So the way that we currently have chores set up is that every Saturday the boys clean our 3 bathrooms. So this boy, he's in charge of cleaning like the outside of the toilet. Another boy cleans the inside of the toilet. I'll apply the bleach cleaner for him, let it sit, and then he'll start. So yes, this boy is cleaning the outsides of the toilets, and he's just using a cleaning spray that's, I think it's just dish soap, grapefruit, essential oil, and water. No, they don't always do the most perfect job of cleaning, but it's always better than nothing, and they're gonna just keep improving. And I realized, like, I don't want to spend every waking moment that I have cleaning, and it doesn't really do my kids any good to not equip them with skills. I want, my future daughter-in-laws to not hate me, so I think it's important that they learn. And also, I think that when you help with chores, you help with cleaning, it also makes you maybe a little bit more careful as you go about your day to, not be as liberal with making messes as you might otherwise be. So they do a good job. And then this son, his job is to clean the sinks and the mirrors, and then together they empty the trash cans in the bathrooms. They don't do it without being reminded, but they know what to expect, and it's not really a big deal. I think it takes each boy about 3 minutes per bathroom tops, so it's really not cutting into their day too much. And then I didn't show this in the video, but our oldest daughter, she vacuums the 3 bathrooms, and then she'll mop as needed, and she'll clean the family, like the kids' shower, each weekend if it's needed. So I gathered up all those books that I was going to give away, and then I found a few more items that were in the house that I was realizing, we just really don't use them very much, and they aren't earning their keep. When you have a larger family and a finite amount of space, you have to be kind of particular about what you keep and what you don't keep. So I really like these Kroger grocery pickup bags for giveaway. They're kind of thick and sturdy. They can hold more than the other grocery bags. And then we just kind of load up the trunk. So after several days of collecting items, when we were feeling better, we headed over to a donation center, and we unloaded the back of the trunk, and I can't tell you how good it felt to just see it empty. As I was loading all of this stuff into the cart with my husband, I was thinking that I am permanently saying goodbye to this. So I'm never going to have to put this item away again. I'm never going to have to hang this up again. I'm never going to have to put new batteries in this again. I'm never going to have to shuffle this from one place to another or fold it or anything like that. And that was a wonderfully freeing feeling. I think we also found a can of marinara sauce, or a jar of tomato sauce, that was hiding underneath all of this stuff. It was a stray grocery, so that was another bonus. And then I can tell you it's a couple days later, and I already have a couple more Kroger bags full of things to give away back in the trunk, so I'll have to make another stop again. But I do find that I just need to set stuff aside. I normally put it on this little bookshelf by our front door. If I'm like, hey, this doesn't fit so-and-so anymore, or, oh, the baby says that this tag is really itchy, and she already has plenty of sweatshirts that she prefers, so I think that we can just pass this one on. I find if I just set it aside right when I'm thinking about it, slowly, or not even that slowly, kind of quickly, we end up accumulating a lot of stuff to give away. And then after illness, I always feel like it's important to wash the bedding in really hot water and put some fresh bedding on. That always makes me feel like the illness is conquered and it's time for a fresh start. So I'm just getting some clean sheets on the bed. And I don't know if you can tell in this, but our bed is kind of, the head is propped up. My husband put a couple 2x4 pieces of wood under the feet of the bed up towards the head because I am having some pregnancy heartburn at night. So I'm trying a few different things. One thing is I'm trying to not eat or drink too much after around 6 in the evening. And then we're propping the head of the bed up. And then I am taking like a couple Tums before bed. It's probably not the most ideal thing to take, but it helps. And I feel like sleep is so elusive towards the end of pregnancy that I'm willing to try it. And in terms of treating my symptoms when I had the flu, when I was having like headaches, I was just taking Tylenol. And then I did have a couple nights of just really extreme insomnia. So nothing really helped for those couple nights, except for listening to a podcast on a really low volume. I think that did kind of keep my husband up a little bit, so that maybe wasn't the best strategy. I probably should have put headphones in, but I guess, thought that he couldn't hear it. So I'm just getting that comforter on. My mother-in-law gave me this comforter. It's from a company called Quince, Quince, and it's made out of almost like the receiving blankets, like the muslin receiving blankets. It's that kind of like crinkly, super soft cotton. And I really, really like it. It's surprisingly warm, actually. By the time I put my like duvet insert inside, I feel like it's very cozy. And I always just really like white bedding. It seems so fresh and inviting. So it felt really good to get that fresh bedding right on. And here's some snow coming down this morning. I just thought it was so pretty and cozy. I had to show you what it looked like. Okay, so here's the banana bread. It was out of the oven, and I did let it cool in the pan for at least 30 minutes. I find that if I don't let it cool for a while, then it's more apt to stick in the pan when I go to turn it out. So I just ran a butter knife quickly around the edges, and then I'm just turning it out onto this little cooling rack. Ideally, you would wait until it was all the way cool to slice it, but it just smelled so good. So what I'm doing is I'm just fixing myself a nice little slice. I'm going to add a generous amount of butter. And then this is something that my uncle suggested, which is to sprinkle on a little bit of flaky sea salt. And he's right. It makes it so extra delicious. So that's what I'm going to do. And I enjoyed it with, I think, a cup of Earl Grey tea. We still have plenty of laundry to do and a little more tidying and scrubbing to go, but in general, I feel like we've gotten back to a good reset after being sick. And you can just spread it out over a couple days and do a little here and there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.